my Sultan. Hazrat Shams said that for Mevlana, he listened to what I said with the manners of a 5-year-old child without asking any questions. My master, how can we attain this state? Even if our mouths are silent, our hearts are not. Let me explain the essence of this as I have read it from the Masnavi. Hazrat Shams says, even if I studied knowledge for 100 years, I could not reach the level of Mevlana's knowledge. Such is his knowledge, outward knowledge. But he sat before me with the manners and modesty of a 2.5-year-old child, humbly and obediently. And he says, Allah opened all the doors for him. Now, spiritual secrets are one thing, outward knowledge is another. Today, no scholar can match the knowledge of Satan. For example, if we look at it outwardly, Mevlana, about whom it was said, even if I studied for 100 years, I could not reach his knowledge, had very valuable works inherited from his father. One day, when Shams Hazrat came to him, Hazrati Mevlana was reading and studying his works by the pool. Shams Hazrat took the book from his hand and threw it into the pool. He said, are you still busying yourself with these? You know, back then it wasn't like today's printing press. Even printing presses can break down, but back then everything was handwritten. So what needs to be done immediately, Ali Bey? The ink should have run, right? The book would be ruined. For my teacher, what have you done? That was left to me by my father. It was so valuable and all that. He says, here you go, what a precious book you had. He says, Bismillah. He reaches his hand into the pool. He takes the book out, shakes it, and dust comes out of the book. He says, here's your book. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not even wet. Now what do you make of that? With which outward knowledge could you do this? Right? You know, there's a incident involving Aladdin Akhtar Hazrat Teri, where Shah Naqshband Hazrat Teri would go out into the fields with his disciples and have conversations. As they were crossing a bridge over a fast flowing river, he says, jump in, Aladdin. He replies, Master, where am I supposed to jump? He says, but I don't know how to swim. He says, the current is strong here, isn't it? If it were us, that's what we'd say too. But he just threw himself into the water. The others kept going. Shah Naqshband Hazrat Larry gave a talk there for 3 hours. Now they're heading back. Look, 3 hours have passed in the meantime. What was the wisdom behind that? There was an official there, like a governor or someone in charge of security. He wanted to give his daughter to Aladdin in marriage, but Aladdin refused. The official held a grudge. He sent someone to kill him. The man was just about to shoot him with an arrow. The Blessed One says, get on the horse. Look, right there. If he had gone, whatever it was, it would have cost him his life. On their way back, they come to the bridge again. He calls out, Aladdin, bang. Aladdin comes out of the water. Look, 3 hours have passed. Not a single drop of water on him. Mr. Uzgur, what do you make of this? One of his friends gets curious and asks, he says, Aladdin, how did you stay in the water for 3 hours? He comes out from the exact spot he jumped in. Currents would have swept him away. He says, what water, my brother? When my Sheikh commanded, I threw myself in. A door opened, he says. I went inside through that door. He says, a small white room. He says, I sat there, and when my Sheikh said, Aladdin, the door opened and I came out, he says, well then, let's see. Who put that room there, brother-in-law? These are things that challenge the mind. If you try to make sense of it with logic, I mean, we understand. What can you do? You have to surrender, you have to believe in your Sheikh. If you don't believe, then don't follow him in the first place.